Hello there, my name is Armando. Let's be honest, it's very appealing to see fast results in life. When something changes quickly, it tends to feel effective, convincing. It almost feels like progress. And if you think about it, in many areas of our lives, speed is even often associated with success. So if something works fast, we tend to assume it works well. But when it comes to our bodies, to our habits, and especially our well being, speed can be slightly misleading because the results will often rely on conditions that are difficult to sustain over time. High intensity, strict control, more pressure, more effort than we can realistically maintain. And initially, that can feel energizing, I'll give you that. There is focus, momentum, there is a sense of direction, even. But slowly, something begins to shift, inevitably, because maintaining that level of intensity requires constant energy, constant attention, constant effort, and real life will very rarely provide that kind of consistency. Energy will fluctuate, schedules change, unexpected things will almost always happen. And when those conditions change, the system becomes harder to maintain. And not because you lack discipline by any means, but because the structure itself became too demanding. What I've noticed, both personally and in others, is that fast change often creates very fragile systems. They work, but only under very specific conditions. And when those conditions disappear, and they almost always do, the behavior tends to disappear with them. This tends to create a very familiar cycle to many of us. There is a strong start, visible progress, gradual difficulty, and then interruption. And that interruption is often interpreted as failure. But in many cases, it is not failure. It is simply a mismatch between intensity and sustainability. Slower change behaves differently. It doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't even feel impressive. Sometimes it barely feels like progress at all, but it fits more naturally into real life. It allows variation. It tolerates imperfect days. It survives change in energy and changes in mood. And because of that, it continues. It carries on. And over time, continuity tends to produce more stable results than intensity. Not because it is faster, but because it doesn't stop. So perhaps the question is not really how quickly can I change this, but perhaps rather what version of this could I realistically maintain? Because the version you can maintain is the version that will shape your life. Something to consider.